Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm pretty much going to be giving you guys a bunch of middle school advice and tips. I'm going to be dividing the advice between like different topics. So we're going to have academic advice, we're going to have friend slash like social advice, we're going to have clubs and sports, and then also general like motivation slash mental health, and then an overall just advice that didn't really fit into any of the other categories, but it's just an overall advice for general middle school. So these tips are coming from yours truly, a graduated 8th grader going into 9th grade. My middle school was a little weird because I was on online school most of my years for 7th and 8th, and half of 6th. Literally all my middle school was snatched away from me because of COVID. But I mean, it was a unique experience, and somehow I still lived the middle school life, the middle school experience, and I found a bunch of tips that I'm going to be sharing with y'all. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Number one, we are starting with academic. Also, if I'm like whispering, I'm filming in a house full of my family, and normally I film by myself, so yeah. Anyway, the first tip I have for academics is one of the most important things, and that is to like manage your stress. So don't stress over your work in middle school. It's basically the easiest way to put this. It's not worth it. Your work and your grades that you get in middle school don't really count at all. Usually it's like high school and up that really get on your transcript and stuff. I mean, middle school is just like a placeholder, and you just have to remember that. So basically, I'm not saying slack off on your work and don't do your work. I'm just saying relax a little bit. This means that you don't have to be like super stressed out all the time. I have to get this in, I have to get an A. You could just kind of work, you know, at your own pace. Don't like push yourself too much right now. Maybe you can kind of do a little bit of pushing yourself to kind of get used to what's after middle school, high school, where you do kind of necessarily do have to push yourself. But I'm gonna say in middle school, you don't necessarily have to push yourself. And yeah, just don't stress out on work. I do recommend though doing your work. Just spit it. That means actually get your homework in, actually try, even if you can't necessarily understand the topic, and work at your hardest with all of the classes that you're gonna have. Okay, the next is know your teachers. So kind of be on their good side, not too goody-goody, because kids don't really like teachers' pets. Yeah, so don't be like a teacher's pet, but definitely know your teachers and be on their good side, you know? I mean, don't like, just don't have your teachers hate you is what I'm trying to say. And this is also really good to have like a good relationship with your teacher, because another thing I cannot stress enough is asking questions in middle school. Ask questions. It is not embarrassing. What's more embarrassing is not asking questions, because if you don't, then you're not going to understand the topic. Why asking questions is such a big deal is because what you learn in middle school, they're not going to teach you in high school. They're just going to expect you to know it. So ask questions in middle school is kind of the time to prepare yourself. Ask questions if you don't know how to do math. Figure it out during middle school when it's less stressful than in high school when they're going to expect you to just know it, because in middle school you actually have time to ask questions. I mean, not that you don't in high school, but you know what I mean. But yeah, asking questions is definitely the biggest thing I can stress. So that is like the biggest tip I have to give for academics. Asking questions. Don't get bad grades, because bad grades are genuinely not worth it. Just do it. Just do your work. It's not that difficult if you think about it. Don't get lazy about your work. Just do it. Just know I have to do my work. It's my job. And then honestly, a biggest tip is just to do it, get it out the way, because then you have so much time to do what you want. All that stuff, if you just complete your work and do it on time, because there has been many times where I procrastinate and then leave stuff to the last minute. Don't do that. Do not leave your stuff to the last minute. Give yourself enough time. Like, next is friends and social, which is probably like the biggest part of middle school. I know it's supposed to be academics and stuff, but friends and social can be a really big part of this. The biggest tip I have to offer, and piece of advice, is to being open to changes within your friend group, because there will be a hefty amount of changes in your friend group. Basically, the friends you go into 6th grade with, you might not even talk to them when you're leaving 8th grade. Yes, it seems like a bad thing. Oh my gosh, I love my friends right now. But middle school is where people kind of start to change. Why am I spitting? Middle school is a great way to make friends and then also a great way to lose a friend. That didn't sound right. What I mean by that is it's actually a good chance to discover toxic friendships, which I can make a whole separate video about if you guys want, because that is a whole other topic. But yeah, just be open to changes and don't stress out like, I feel like I'm drifting apart from them. You know, that might be good. That might be good. And don't close yourself off to a certain circle of friends, because there might be another friend over here that you don't even know about, and you're too close in here to even, you know, be over there. And then people might not want to talk to you if you're too close in a circle. Because other thing, to be nice to everyone. I used to not be nice, and like not in like the mean way, but I used to be very bossy. And the thing is, you kind of have to catch yourself, because I'm exposing myself here, but I was very mean. My number one tip now that I've changed and really noticed how bossy I was is to genuinely be nice to everyone and just be like friendly. Be the person that everyone wants to be around, because you just give off a good energy. Okay, so on the social page, I guess drama is gonna come up. Okay, I'm back. I had to move my camera so the location looks a little bit different. And also, if you hear that in the background, that's my AC that just turned on because it was sweating. It was hot. Anyways, so about drama, before I even get into that, I just want to say you're gonna have drama. And the best thing is to not even create it and resolve problems before they even turn into so-called drama or like bigger problems than they are, because you are gonna have arguments, you're gonna have problems, that's normal, but try to like resolve them in the best way that you can. Like really think about, if you're having an argument with your friends or someone, think about it like, why am I fighting over this? It's not even worth it. Like, is it really that important? Like, is this a life-changing situation? If it is, then, you know, stand up for yourself. I'm not saying just like surrender and not, you know, stand up if it's a big deal, but definitely think if it's, you know, if you realize, okay, it's something kind of small, definitely be the bigger person, as hard as it is. If like you have an argument over something, you know, and you realize, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal, we can do it, like, sure. And then find the positive side of that situation. And I feel like a lot of this middle school experience is just having to find the positive, which that is later in my motivation and mental health section. So we're actually moving on to that. Oh no, we're not. We're moving on to clubs and sports next. Dude, clubs and sports. I regret not joining any clubs and sports because it is such a good way to be social and such a good way to have a group, a built-in group. If you have availability to join groups and clubs and sports, please join them. For me, join for me. Even if you're a shy person, just go. Just take that leap and just go. Next is motivation and mental health. This is like a really big, I say all these things are really big parts because they are, but the number one thing I have to say is don't stress too much, because it's really not worth stressing out that much. And I wish I knew, because there's been many times me crying on the kitchen counter, and you already know why. But yeah, just like don't stress, because it's genuinely not worth it. The biggest thing I have to say about this part of the video is to have fun in middle school. Okay, I took it way too seriously and just looked at it as a negative thing, when it's honestly just a fun experience. Just like have fun and adapt to it the best way that fits you. So if you find something that stresses you out, work in that area and find ways that you can relieve that stress, and then you get super comfortable. And I say do that in the first few weeks of school, so that you kind of are just comfortable with school, and then you'll be able to enjoy your school, which is something I didn't do. I was just so stressed out, which you shouldn't be stressed out at all. And just know, like, it is such a short amount of time at school. It's literally 3 years. So just make the best, because you're gonna be there. So just make the best out of what you have, and it will come easier for you, I promise. For the last topic, which is like overall experience, again, just have fun. I literally wish someone told me that. Well, they did. I just didn't listen. You can make it the most fun time in your life if you really wanted to. Make the best friendships you can and just be the best you that you could be. And that is so cringy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so middle school is just a great way to make friendships, relationships with everyone. I was gonna say slay all day. I was gonna say slay. No. But like, just enjoy. With all these tips, I hope that you guys can use them in your life, and hopefully it'll help you out if you are going into middle school. You can even use these tips. I won't be using them in high school, so you can use them in elementary school, middle school, and high school. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!